I know you're hearing. I know you can hear me moving around. I know you can hear me moving around. I do, but it's just because I'm getting stoked about this. Because it dawned on me. I have not done a Twitch Dad stream in quite some time, and I haven't done a cooking stream in quite some time. So this was the best time to do it. There's other reasons too, but hey, how you doing, everybody? Good to see you. It's me, Twitch Dad. And here is where we're going to be doing most of the first part of today's stream. But you also know me as T Monster as well. But today I'm Twitch Dad, and I am making chicken and venison paella. Now, I already see Gaming Author in chat. Gaming Author, good to see you. You do not know what paella is. Well, let me tell you something you're about to learn. First off, I got to introduce the... get a close-up shot anyway of the cookbook we're working with. Now, normally I've been working with the cookbooks from either Snoop Dogg or from Danny Trejo, but today we're working with Nadia's British Food Adventure. That's Nadia, and if you don't know who Nadia is that wonderful, delightful individual who won the Great British Baking Show, the Great British Bake Off a few years ago. And she's got this wonderful rubbery face, and she does all these amazing expressions with them. And she's just awesome. She's just awesome. And she won the whole thing. And she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. And this is from her cookbook, The Great British Food Adventure, The British Food Adventure. And you'll see it on the screen there. Also, yes. Oh, yeah. Hey there. Oh, snap. Yeah, I know. You're about to find out what it is. Oh, this is what it's going to look like, more or less. This is what it's going to look like when we're done. All right. Paella is a traditional Spanish, not Mexican, Spanish. It is a Spanish dish It is rice-based, so there's a big shock. And a lot of times you make it with chicken, or you make it with chicken, and you make it with chicken and beef. You can really put a wide variety of things in paella. But where is it? Here it is. We recently got from the Kellys, and for those of you who are regulars on my stream, when I run in Destiny, or if I do an episode of Happy Hour from the Tower, you know that I tend to run with Brandon Kelly or Nick Kelly. Well, the Kellys brought me over this, and what this is venison salami. I'm going to say that again slowly for everybody in the class. Venison salami. And this is what we're putting in next to chicken. Now, normally it's chicken and chorizo, but like I said, we put in venison salami. It was like we had this dish for the first time ever. Now, my wife is on the way with some chicken, but we're gonna be putting in some salami a little bit later. The other nice thing about this too, chat, is yo, Random, how are you? I need it. I need it. I'm telling you right now, Zach. This dish is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I'm excited to present this because I told Pip, I said I want to do a presentation of this for the No Kid Hungry charity stream. I really want to do that. And the thing is, chat, was that when we had this. We've had this dish often, but the night that I had it, I said I've got to stream this because I don't know when I'm going to get venison salami like this again. So here's the thing about salami, and I believe that's the difference between bologna and salami. The difference, because any meat can be a bologna. Right? Any meat can be bologna. You can have chicken bologna. You can have, pork bologna. You can have all that. But the difference between a bologna and salami has spices in it. It might have a pepper in it. It has to have some kind of spice to count as a salami. That's what it is. That's the only difference. Bologna is just salami without the spices. So when you think about it, when you make chicken and chorizo paella, you're basically swapping out the spiced meat, which in this case is chorizo, with another spiced meat. And the spiced meat that we're doing tonight is the venison. So another thing is venison. Today I learned. Yep, that's the whole point of a Twitch Dad stream there, Zach. So here's the thing about venison in general. It's hard to find really good venison in the United States because most of the time venison is rarely, if ever, raised like in New Zealand. Now my wife is from New Zealand, and she kind of hipped me onto this. In New Zealand, they actually have deer ranches, deer farms. So you have almost like Angus beef style venison over in New Zealand. The thing is, though, in the United States, it's a little harder to come by. The first time I had venison, I was like, it was exotic. That's the best way I could describe it. It was exotic because I'd never had venison before. My family, in particular, my dad. I love you, Dad, but my dad was not an adventurous eater. He was not an adventurous eater by any stretch of the imagination, okay? My dad just liked it simple. And my mom was funny. My mom's a funny lady, chat. She is a fantastic cook. I don't care what she says. She is a fantastic cook. But I think she once told me, she said, it's not that I don't know how to cook, I just don't want to cook. So that is the story of my mom. So she really didn't experiment with food or try to do different things with food. When she did, oh my God, it was ridiculously good. But but it was the effort. It was the effort. And here's my philosophy about food, because I am completely self-taught when it comes to food, or when it comes to cooking. And this is my own 2 cents for you. 2 cents from Twitch Dad. The reason you cook is that it's a therapeutic thing. It just helps you decompress. You got I did get a spiffy haircut. Thank you for noticing, Nix. You always notice the little details, don't you? How are you, darling? Good to see you. But there are some people who dig cooking, and there are some people who do not care for cooking, and then there's some like Nix who like to come when I'm cooking meals. They like to come by and they go, "Oh, I happen to be in the neighborhood, and T is making mac and cheese, and he's making meats, all the meats. Let's go." But yeah, I like cooking. I love the process. I love the everything behind it. I love being able to, especially when I have friends over, as Nix can attest. When Nix was over here last, they were surrounded by people that we had known for years, and it was a terrific time. And I love cooking for people. I love cooking for my family. And during this pandemic, I won't lie, during this pandemic, we have upped our cooking game in this house. And this is probably one of the biggest ups that we had in this game. Is this recipe that we're doing today? I had an uncle bring, shall we say, self-produced venison to a family get-together. First time I tried them, it was honestly really good. See, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, Zach, about venison in this country. Based on how it's prepared, it's either going to be slightly gamey, but still edible, or it's going to be ranked right up there with the best lamb or the best steak you will ever have. And this is amazing stuff with this. So the story has it that there were some Nick and Stacia and Brandon Kelly. They all live tucked back in the woods, and apparently some dude was hunting deer back there. And to say thank you, he showed up one day and said, "Here's some venison salami," and they didn't know what to do with it, so they gave it to me. And this is what we're doing right now. This is what we're doing right now with it. And we didn't even know what we were going to do with it until Pip suggested, "Why don't we make the paella? But let's swap out the chorizo since that has spice in it. Let's swap it out with the venison salami." And actually, Nix was here. Nix was here when we got this salami, and I remember looking at them and going, "What do I do with this?" Of course, then we turned into a dirty joke, as we do. That's how I do. Doing okay, other than Kat being an escape artist. He's back home, good. But also, yes, you make all the tasty foods. I try, Nix. I try. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have to get the venison ready. So what we're doing is we're doing it just a simple. Now in the cookbook, I have to heat up the pan, and then I'm going to be dicing the chorizo. So this time though, we're dicing the venison salami. And really, when people say we're dicing, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's nothing overly complicated. You're making squares. You're making squares. What kind of lame knife is that? You can suck it. You can suck it, Chavez. It's a knife that's cutting my venison salami. Okay, pop quiz, hotshot. What's the difference between salami and bologna? Let's see if Chavez is up to what he always rides me about. What's the difference between bologna and salami? End of August. If I don't have guests, I can come over for my birthday. There you go. All right. But yeah, simple dicing of the meat. Not quite, but almost. Not quite, but almost. People aren't full of salami. Very nice, Mika. Very nice. That was well played. That was well played. And as always, chat, bologna is for us poor white trash peeps. And you got a warning. I love that. You got a warning for that. Just so you know, everybody, we are raising money today. And every day and every day in the month of July, even though this is a light week for streaming for me, kind of dawned on me that this week we're basically taking some time off because I'm going to a writing retreat this weekend. So Tuesday will be my last day of streaming for this week. Look at that. Picking up a host from... You need to get this alert up here. Where's my alerts? Well, Calpena, well, thank you for that host. I certainly do appreciate it. Where are my alerts? You failed me. You have failed me. Where are my alerts? Hang on a minute. I'm just doing a quick test here. Well, it says they're here. The alerts may be on break. That might be it, Calpena. It says it's on top. That's the weird thing. Well, I'd rather have you watch this anyway. All right. But Calpena, thank you very much for that host. I certainly do appreciate it. Streamer broke it. Possibly. So yeah, so we're just so I'm just dicing up this what turned out to be absolutely fantastic venison salami. And here's the thing. Like I said, the last time I had venison that I really liked, I was in New Zealand. The fact that whoever this random hunter was, he knew how to prepare venison, and it's a delight. It's an absolute delight. Twitch fam, I love that emote. That's a nice one. All right. So anyway, but yes, all through the month of July, I'm going to be raising money for NoKidHungry.org. And NoKidHungry.org is an organization that makes sure that kids who are reliant on the school system to get fed will get fed, even when school is out of session. They've been working really hard during COVID-19. And while they're starting to get back to a normal base of operations, a normal just everyday, this is how we're getting stuff done, it's still the summer, and in the summer they work particularly hard to make sure that all these kids are getting fed. So it's an extra challenge on that. So I've been working with No Kid Hungry since the beginning of the pandemic, and they've been an absolute joy to work with, absolute joy, and it's great to be back and streaming with them again. And the wife is here.
Hello,
darling.
I think I'm bringing chicken.
Chicken? Who has chicken?
It has chicken.
I has Nix.
Oh, cool.
Nix is on stream.
I have Phil Rossi in my pocket.
And Chavez is, of course, criticizing my knives. He's criticizing my knives.
We can't all be.
Well, you know, Chavez, my wife has a birthday coming up.
If you want to send me some knives.
If you would like to buy my wife a set of proper kitchen knives, I think she'd love that, because she also does the cooking as well in the house.
I also do the cooking with those knives.
Yeah. Chicken.
Whew, it's toasty out there.
It's toasty out there? Yeah, it's toasty out there.
90-something degrees.
Calpena says, morning, Miss Pip.
Hey.
Nick says, hey, Pip. All these people saying, hi.
Hi.
What do gay horses eat? Hey!
I love that. But Chavez must appreciate the venison.
I was going to say, Chavez didn't say... Well, I asked Chavez, what's the difference between bologna and salami? And he said bologna is what the poor white trash people eat. So that's what...
Tasted pretty damn good to me.
I know, but... No, that's not bologna. That's salami. Remember,
salami?
It's salami.
Oh, I can't.
It's good is what it is. It's good.
So I went out thinking I was going to Costco. That's a BJ's.
Oh, that's right. Where's the Costco?
The Costco is in Sudley.
It's in Sudley. That's right. It's off Sudley.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
I'll go to Sudley again.
I don't want to put.
Knives in the.
Wait. What did he? What's he saying here? I don't want to put your sad little present with an. Wait. I don't want to put. Do you sad little present with an amazing knife set? Chavez. Try English, my friend. Try English.
What? The cutting board is wood. We told we
The
got
cutting
wood.
board is bamboo, but apparently now it's the knives that are the problem.
Oh, okay.
It's the knives that are the problem.
Oh.
What have you?
But there's a tradition you actually aren't supposed to give knives unless you want to cut the friendship. Did you know that?
What was that?
There's an old wives' tale that if you give knives to a friend, you're going to cut the friendship.
Yeah, but it's Chavez.
But the way to do it
Chavez.
is you put a nickel or like a 10 cent or whatever in there.
Chavez.
Yeah, I know. But you put a nickel in it so that theoretically...
Or a penny.
A penny? Spend
A
a
penny?
penny? Not on the knives. That'd be bad.
Oh, I don't want to outdo your sad little present with an amazing knife set. That's what Chavez is saying to me.
You can do that, Chavez. It's fun.
And on that note, I'm going to have a beer.
Oh, jeez. So have you started cooking yet?
No, I've just diced the chorizo, and I gotta dice the chicken.
Oh, I
thighs.
see. You've got two cameras.
Yeah, no, I got 3 cameras, baby. I got
the other one?
this camera
Oh, yeah,
here.
yeah.
I got that camera there. And I got this
jeez.
camera over. Yeah, well, you see, this
Like,
is
you should be on the cooking channel
yeah.
with
that's
your
what I'm saying.
knives.
With my broke ass knives. So anyway, I know. Sticks. Nix says
Sticks. That's ladies.
I loved them on the Kilroy Was Here tour. I knew that tradition. I never let people give me knives, so I'd give them a bit of compensation.
Yes, you got to
they
pay
were they were on top of it.
Yeah.
They were on top of it. All right, so now I got to dice the chicken, and then
My grandmother was a highly superstitious woman, so she
Yes,
taught
she
me.
was.
She taught me all of the
she knows all of the superstitions.
like cover up a mirror when somebody dies. I'm not sure what that was for, but spin the pot like 5 times. I don't know.
that's right. Spin the pot 5 times or something.
I'm still not. I think that was her own little invention. That one. I don't think that was actually a.
All right. I forgot how good that is.
I got some more.
By the way, everybody, it's Sunday Feels Birmosa Sour
nice.
from Dogfish. Nice.
I got some Impossible Burger.
Oh, some Impossible Burger.
Just for laters.
Not as good, chat, as actual meat, but awfully damn close.
I also got you. I got this one to try.
Ooh, that sounds good.
We've been trying.
That's gonna make me fart.
It's good for you.
It's plenty of
All
fiber.
that fiber.
It's fiberlicious, chat.
Maybe when you start.
Fiberlicious.
When you get as you head towards 50, your fiber becomes important. Fiber and friend.
Colon blow.
Well, it's better than the other.
Look, I just remember being traumatized as a kid when I said, I'll have grape nuts because it'll taste like grape. And my mom was the kind of mom that would do this with food. She would be like, okay. So she'd get grape nuts. And man, as a kid,
Lovely.
I think I had the cleanest colon in kindergarten, to be honest with you.
What are grape nuts? I don't even know what a grape nut is.
There's no such. It's not really a grape nut. It's basically just a very high fibered cereal, right? Super high
pass
fiber.
that to me and then give me one of those silicon things and I'll put that in the freezer.
So what?
Give me one of those silicon bags.
Oh, the silicon bags. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, these things, chat, are fantastic. These things are fantastic for marinating. These are fantastic for freezing all kinds of different stuff. Where you got these on Amazon, right?
Those are Amazon. Yeah. If you look for silicon
silicon zip
bags.
Zip bags.
Yeah, they replace Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
We are trying to do a bit for the environment.
Trying to do our bit.
I mean, we may be old, but we have a daughter, so.
Yep. All right. So now I'm gonna dice this. Hello? Something just chimed on my computer. Not really sure what that was. All right. But anyway, yeah.
I'm gonna finish chugging my water.
Chug that one. Oh, wait. Before you do, let me show you. So Pip has gone on the Noom route, Look at the size of this water bottle, chat.
It's 64 ounces.
64 ounces of what? And
but it's a whole
you'll notice
day.
it's an entire day's worth of water. It's basically timed. And man, Pip is relentless. She's been tackling this so far like a boss.
Well, yeah.
Like a
boss who spends a lot of time in the bathroom.
As you do.
As you do.
I know, Calpena, right? All right, here we go.
We're all got to do our bit, right?
All got to do our bit.
We are meat bags walking around. We might as well take care of the meat bag.
Exactly. So, Chad, you'll notice that what I'm doing here, I have to also dice the chicken. And you'll notice that as I'm dicing the chicken, I'm basically using scissors.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Scissors work. And the other nice thing about... Here's the thing about... this is a great analogy I heard about cooking versus baking. Cooking versus baking. I think Pip actually told me this.
Probably. If it's anything good, I told you.
Right. That's what she tells me every day, Chad. Cooking is an art. Baking is a science. Because when it comes to cooking, you can fudge with the recipe. You can add stuff if you want to. Like if Pip said, you know what, we got a jar of roasted red peppers. Let's throw that into the paella. You could throw that into the paella. If we had mushrooms, which I should have asked my wife to get, I didn't.
There are some being delivered.
Oh, huzzah! Oh, that was your phone dinging.
Probably.
I was like, that wasn't me dinging. I hope.
I like to ding.
Yeah. Ring ding a ding a ding ding. Because my knives suck.
Well, that's true.
They do suck, but
if
you know what?
If you're cutting something, you're like, I'm crafting.
Yeah.
Look at me craft.
Look at me craft. We're all ghost piloting meat Gundams, and I love it. That's a great way of looking at it. That's a great way of looking at it. Now, is that you? That was you.
That was not me. I'm not making any noise.
All right, my.
The only noise I'm making right now is.
Drink.
Skull.
Skull. Now that came from behind me. Oh, it's the camera. The camera disconnected. That's what happened. Okay. I'll just have to make sure.
Calming sound.
Yeah, I'll just have to remember to. But that's actually good to know. If the camera is offline, that means that it resets. So I'd rather have it do that before I discover that on the night of the investigation. So yeah, chat. Something I did want to touch base on. Next week we have, we're T minus 8 days, 8 days and counting, chat, and in 8 days, Phil Rossi and I will be at the Belgrove Plantation. The Belgrove Plantation of King George, not Middletown, but King George, Virginia, and we will be hosting a paranormal investigation on this stream. Craft those breasts. Yes, I will. Chavez. As Pip can attest, I like having a good breast on hand. Anyway, so what I was going to say was that so I'm testing out right now. I'm not just sharing this this great recipe from Nadia, but I'm also testing out one of the most complicated camera setups that I've ever done, because I've got 3 cameras on here. And I'm testing out the brand new camera behind me, which is going to be the main camera the night that we do the paranormal investigation. We're calling that night, Phil and I are calling it Phasmo for Real, and we will be probably publishing our findings on his paranormal podcast, which is called Don't Turn Around. It's available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Play. You can find it pretty much anywhere.
Well, I'm listening. What? Don't Turn Around?
That's the Don't Turn Around podcast, yeah.
I am. I was listening to it when I went out for a drive.
Really?
Quite interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was listening to one where Phil had a friend who lived in a spooky house in Ashburn.
Yep.
In the 90s. Pretty spooky.
Very scary, kids.
Creepy. It's creepy paper.
It's creepy paper, Guillermo. Creepy paper.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what happens if I do this. Alright.
My hair is hot. I could feel the breeze running through my hair, but it was like a hot breeze. So now my hair is all hot. Ah, why do we live in this place? I mean, we could be worse. We could be living in Death Valley. 130 degrees. Just saying. Doop, doop.
It's trying. It's trying real hard. It's trying real hard to. I think the camera is confused. It doesn't know. It doesn't know what to do.
Nah.
So I'm gonna let the camera do its thing. Now it's not saying. It's not the battery light. No, that's the SD card light. So we're fine. Battery is fine. We haven't gotten to that camera yet, right there. No, we're not doing the flashlight challenge. I did a little science little research into that, and I found out. I was like, that was a little too good to be true. I know that sounds weird. Like, wait a minute, you're going to a paranormal investigation. You're saying you were skeptical about the flashlight challenge. The answer is yes.
Well, it's to do with metals.
It's got to do with metals expanding and contracting and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. So we got the chicken taken care of. We got the paella taken. I'm sorry, not the paella. We got the chicken taken care of. We got the venison taken care of. Now we're supposed to go to the next camera, but the next camera right now is having a day. It's having a bit of an issue. So you may that's it. Perfect. Hold on, hold please. There we go. Now I just got to line it up properly, and we go to the next setup. So now we go here, but then I've got to go back here. This is where it gets complicated, chat. Kitchen counter. There we go. Oh, don't do that. Now this is great. This is great testing for me because I need to find out whether...
Is this the camera you're going to be using?
This is the camera I'm going to be using, and the camera that I'm going to be using has now unmounted itself.
Ooh.
How dirty.
A dismount.
It's done a dismount.
An unauthorized dismount.
An unauthorized dismount, yes. Now, the thing was, it was a fully charged battery, so it should... I'd rather find this out on this stream than find out on the stream. Find out on a stream that I've been hyping.
And technical issues at the same time.
No, you don't want to do that. All right. Everyone bear with me here.
Bearing.
All right. The beautiful thing about being a streamer is you really do have to be your own...
Tech support?
You have to be your own tech support. All right. Now this did have... Oh, do I need a new battery for this? Did the battery conk out? If the battery conked out, that would be bad.
Didn't you just get that just arrived?
Well, it arrived, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the battery is...
What kind of batteries is it?
Well, I mean, I've got an extra battery over there.
Okay.
Don't worry.
We got this.
We got this, everybody. We got this. I'm just checking to see. Well, let's find out, shall we? It would be a little alarming though, because the battery is supposed to have like a life of. It's supposed to have. It's supposed to have a battery life of a full charge of something like. This should be able to go for at least 90 minutes.
That's what she said.
Amen. Amen, my beautiful wife.
That's inappropriate. I apologize. I rescind the statement.
No, you don't. No, you don't. There it is. All right. So let's see what happens here, chat. But yeah, if I have technical difficulties, I'd rather have them happen now than on that particular day. Okay, there we go. Unless, now that's interesting. What if this takes more power? Was that you?
That was me.
That was you. Okay. I was about to say.
I was just getting my Spotify hooked up to that version of Smells Like Teen Spirit with...
Oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah.
That was so freaking good.
It's from a person called Malaya J. So I added it to my...
Okay.
Yeah, Sunny asked me if I wanted to go out to walk. I said it's 97 degrees outside.
Did she change her mind?
I said I'm 50% potato. Don't even.
All right.
Don't even. Oh, it's cooled down. Now it's 93 degrees.
Oh, huzzah. Huzzah.
It's possibly chilly out
Oh, you're
there.
taking some... All right. All right, Chavez. You have a good day.
Jeez, it's only going to be 80.
Well, interesting. It says... Oh, there it is. There it is. There we go. Perfect. Unless it uses up more... If it uses more juice... when it's a webcam, that will also be good news.
Good to know.
Good to know now.
Does it have like a... Can it plug into
Can I plug it in? I should be able to plug it in, but if not, I will prepare. I will prepare.
Good your loins.
Let's see. All right. So now, what we do is we go up on medium heat, and we're going to go ahead and prepare. Throw some oil in there. You'll notice that I don't necessarily measure the oil exactly. 2 tablespoons, that looks about right. Maybe a dash more. But you get the idea. The 2 tablespoons should cover like at least a good portion of the pan, and then you're good. You're good. Yeah, I think I got it. And now we're going ahead and we're heating up the element here. We're getting this pan nice and hot. Now, when it says medium high, for anybody new to cooking, what exactly is defined as medium high? I usually define medium high as anything between 5 and 8.
Yeah.
5 and 8 on one of these. Now,
Yeah, if it's halfway and then just a little bit above halfway.
yeah. So between 5 and 8 is would be considered what I consider medium high. Now, when you are working with gas heat, it's a little different. Now, gas heat, or when you're working with gas in general, a lot of people say it gives you more control over the over whatever it is you're cooking. In all fairness, it's what you're comfortable with. And for these particular elements, it's all electric. And actually, I don't think this house is built for gas.
We don't have gas.
Yeah, we don't have gas.
Unfortunately, next house.
Next house, you'd rather cook with gas?
If gas was an option, I would totally take gas.
Interesting.
Because gas is immediately, the chefs prefer it.
I know chefs prefer it.
Because it's more exact.
Yeah, I don't know. Whether it's gas or whether it's electric, I've been able to cook with both without any issue.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you learn to adjust. That's
if
the
it was
thing.
in the
You
house, I
adjust.
wouldn't be mad. That's all I'd say.
Well, okay, well, fair enough. That is a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment. Our stoves have Mika. Our stoves have numbers, and I know that there are some stoves that don't even come with numbers. They basically come with settings.
Yeah. Or they come with just markings.
Yeah. I think medium high would be like 7:30 o'clock on my. Yeah, that sounds about right. About 7 o'clock on the stove. Yeah. But I mean,
and then just a little bit of
well, here's a good example of when it comes to cooking with gas, like the barbecue outside. I mean, I could put that thing on low, but if I put it on low and then cover it, even steaks would burn out there. So I just don't think. I think sometimes people go, "Oh, it's more exact." I'm not 100% convinced on that.
I think you're wrong.
That's your job as my wife to be.
I've cooked on gas. I mean,
You
I've had apartments with gas. It's been quite nice.
I know, Zach. I know it was not a happy day when I burned steaks. It is not a happy day when I burned steaks.
especially those steaks we've been getting lately.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, we got these steaks, Zach. Got these steaks from a local farmer who is she's basically raising Wagyu.
Yeah, they're a special kind of cow.
They're special.
They're really good. The burgers.
Those cows lived good lives, baby. Those cows lived good lives. Okay. Okay. I'm just keeping an eye on what I need to do next. I think just to keep ahead of the game, I'm gonna go on ahead and get to the onions. Now, here's some things to know about onions. You got 3 onions that a lot of people tend to cook with.
I got a new way of cutting them. You should try it.
Would you like to do it?
No, I'll tell you about it.
Okay. And so there's white onions, there's red onions, and then there are these. And these tend to be the ones that are the most popular onions, at least in this household, Vidalia onions. And Vidalia onions tend to be the sweeter of the 3.
So what's the difference between a white onion? See that in New Zealand, you know what we call that?
What?
It's an onion.
Well, that's a Vidalia, and it's yellow.
We have those, and then we have red onions. That's it.
Yeah, we have 3. We've got.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do have a white onion. Yes. I don't know.
But the thing about.
Are you putting on your?
I'm putting on an apron because I'm wearing my good shirt.
You're wearing your good shirt. You don't want to
I'm
wipe
wearing
your
a good
hands
shirt.
on your. Oh, you got a Kiwi one.
I'm gonna pull out the kiwi.
Put out the New Zealand. Oh,
Little New Zealand
you know
pride.
what we call that, New Zealand?
What?
That's your penny.
My penny?
Your penny.
Okay.
Gonna put your penny on.
I'm putting my penny on, everybody.
I don't
I'm
know
putting
why
my
it's called
penny
that.
on.
God knows why I'm calling nothing.
I think the older generation just said, "Yeah, we call that a penny," just to fuck with the younger generation. I really think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I really think that's what they're doing.
God,
That's
Looking
my.
at that stupid apron, I miss New Zealand.
So anyway, going back to the onions. So you have different kinds of onions. You've got red onions, you got white onions, you got the Vidalia onions. The way I would put it is this way: put the white onion smack dab in the middle, and the thing that you taste like when you have onion powder and stuff like that, that's what the white onion tastes like.
Yeah.
If you make it a little sharper, a little more bitter, but it has like a flavor that you want to add like a sharpness to, then that is when you use a red onion.
So a white onion's a bit milder.
Yes, Vidalia onions if you want to have a sweeter taste. At least in my palate, Vidalia onions are sweeter than the white onions. But I love working with red onions, especially when I'm doing like an omelet or something like that. Anyway, so we've got our onions here.
How many onions you got?
Well, I'm getting there. It says that I'm supposed to have 200 grams, like a 200 gram. Wait, hang on this. It says 1 large onion, approximately 200 grams. But here's the thing: is this considered a large onion? So I go on ahead, and I've seen onions that are as big as my fist.
We got some really big onions the other day.
But this one, for example, that's 164 grams.
Didn't we have some of those big ass onions in there?
This one's 132. No, not anymore. We've used them.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to use 2 of these, and we're just going to have a little more onion. And
that's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. So I can now see steam coming off of this, so now I can go on ahead and I can add the chicken, and then I can add the chorizo.
Yeah, the recipe calls for chorizo, but you can do
I'm sorry, not chorizo, the venison.
The venison, yeah.
The venison.
I mean, the recipe is for chorizo.
We already covered that, baby.
Yeah.
We already covered that.
But this is delicious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is great. I mean, I would say that's superior to chorizo.
Well, the thing was, it was a perfect substitute for the chorizo.
Was that the last of that?
Yeah, it was the last one. But that was perfect. That was a perfect combination. That was a perfect substitute because the chorizo, when you think about it, the chorizo has the seasoning, has like the spices and everything like that.
Yeah.
But then we swapped out the chorizo with the venison salami, and now we have.
I mean, if you wanted it hot, you could always throw a little red pepper or.
Oh sure, but.
In there, but it was delicious last time, so I wouldn't fuss with it too much.
Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
It's funny, I was listening to a streamer today talk about how they loved having an Echo and they loved having Google, and then they felt like they were giving away too much information, and they basically unplugged all their Echoes and
You want to hear my story about how to do that?
well, I'm in a minute because I'm still talking,
No, I'm
darling.
talking about the onion.
Hang on, let me finish my story. The point I was going to say is that yeah, I get it. I get it. People are worried about their privacy, but here's the problem. We should have been worrying about that 10 years ago. If you think unplugging your Google and unplugging your Alexa, Alexa, is
No need to apologize. By the way, I noticed you haven't asked me to play music in a while. Remember, you can just say top hits.
See, I was about to put a defense for my Echo. Now I'm beginning to think, maybe they got a point. But I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, the way it was phrased, the way the concern was phrased was, I just didn't want Amazon listening to me. And I'm sitting here going, if they did, it'd be the most boring conversation that anybody could imagine. So, sorry, I'm just not buying into it. Now, darling, how do you want me to cut this onion?
Well, you're going to have to cut the other one because
Right.
What it involves is you cut off the top but not the root.
So cut off this.
Yes, cut off that bit.
All right, we're trying something new today, chat. Hang on.
Okay. Now cut the onion in half, leaving the root intact.
Cut the onion in half, but leave this part intact. How do I do that? If I'm cutting,
Chop it down the middle.
yeah, but if I cut it in half, I'm gonna destroy the root.
Well, you just leave it. Just do it.
Why don't you show me?
All right, I'll show you then.
Man, instead of talking me through it,
You
just
know how
show
much
me.
I hate to cut onions, but now you're making me do it.
Yeah.
So. All right, so.
So I do have to cut it.
Okay. Then.
She said keep
Yes,
the root
yes.
intact, chat.
Well, the root is still intact. It's still holding it together.
All right.
So then you take your
Take the paper off.
take the paper off, leaving the root still intact.
You.
Okay.
Well, that's a terrible way of phrasing it because the root isn't intact.
It is still there. It's still holding the thing together.
All right, if you say so. That's
Okay.
I know it's semantics, but come
Now
on.
then you cut it like, I don't know if they can see it. Can they see if I...
They should be able to see it because I have a
If you
second
cut it like
camera on.
that, so we're cutting it so that this root bit is still, there's still a little bit of onion still, whoops, except I did it there. You cut it so it's still attached. You go through like that. Again, stopping just before the root, right?
Right.
And now when you cut it, it's already pre-cubed.
Look at that. And the root basically holds it all together.
Yes.
Watch where you step. Watch where you step. Watch where you step. Welcome to a look into my life, chat.
Well, I'm starting to get onion eye.
All right.
And that way you get your cubes of onion rather than just slices. If the onion was bigger, you could slice it horizontally twice.
All right. So just double checking. So
Okay. Flip it that way.
like this way. Okay.
Now when
And
you
then-
cut, no. Cut it so you leave in
Like
the
this?
root. No. So you're cutting it.
Well, I mean, you were. Yeah. Okay.
So you keep that like that, and then you cut, but you don't cut all the way through. You cut so that you're leaving the root attached.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
And then,
All right. All right.
so you do have to use the tip.
Just the tip, Lana. Just the tip.
Okay.
Where did you pick this little trick up?
Gosh, I can't remember the name of the TikTok. No,
TikTok, don't
No,
stop.
he's a YouTube. Now you
right.
take this. Well, you're doing it left-handed, so of course you're going to do it the opposite way around. But you basically just
Oh, right. Okay.
store it. Yeah,
Got it.
store it that way. And then you chop it straight down.
All right.
And that way you will get some nice little cubes. Being careful to just not slice into your finger.
Not slicing to your finger.
There you go.
Shares and fancies your Uncle Bob.
And now when you cut down, there you go.
Right. Okay, I gotta admit that's a pretty cool hack right there, chat. That's a pretty cool hack right there. That's a pretty freaking cool hack. And way safer than what I'm about to do with this other onion.
Yeah. Well, got nothing for you, dude.
I mean, I could just get out.
The root holds it all together.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't.
The root holds it all together, man.
It's like
It's like my rug, man. I really liked that rug too, man. There's a good tip on TikTok. How awesome! Yeah, I know, right?
He's actually.
Yo, Fox, just the tip. How you doing there, Fox?
Let me find out who it was because we got to give it to.
TikTok, don't stop rocking. TikTok,
He's
stop.
He's actually a YouTube cook.
He's a Oh God, there's the fumes.
Yep.
There's the freaking fumes.
He's actually very well known, and I can't for the life of me remember his name.
He's well known in certain circles.
No, he's like one of the big.
If you say Markiplier, I'm gonna laugh.
No, Markiplier is not one of the world's. Not Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay shows you how to slice an onion.
First he fells at it, you fucking thing! You're making me cry, bastard! That's how. And then the onion just kind of falls apart due to the stress. All right.
The onion just decides, oh man, I'm just going to give it up. I'm just going to
What
give
are
it
you?
up.
I'm an idiot sandwich. Speaking of memes, where you finally get where you get the original reference. Pip and I finished Invincible the other day. Man, has that been was that amazing?
Oh, Joshua Weissman is his name.
Never heard of Joshua Weissman.
Yeah.
But but I am Twitch dad, which means I'm not supposed to be super hip on everything.
He's this young gentleman.
Oh,
You can't see right now, so
I can't see a freaking thing. Exactly.
He's got 4.5 million subscribers. So he's
All right, this is starting to.
he's doing all right.
Alexa, how much time do I have on my timer?
You have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. Well, this is cooked. So now I'm looking at my venison and I'm looking at my venison and chicken here, and some of it is looking a little charred. So I'm gonna take that as a hint that I should get it out of there.
How is it? Nice and cooked.
All right. Yeah, it's plenty cooked. It's plenty cooked. All right.
So yes. Ooh, he's got how to make a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Ugh, gross.
Hey, it's got 9.7 million views.
Well, I'm sure.
People are killing for these chicken sandwiches, man. I think teaching people how to cook them is probably
Maybe
public
that.
service.
Yeah. That way you can actually use the. I'm not big on fast food, chat. That's the thing. I'm not big on fast food.
No, but if you can make a healthy version.
If you can make a healthy version of it, yeah, even better.
Yeah. He started off doing those sort of things, like how to make a chicken tenders from KFC. Or
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. All right.
like a better version.
All right. So here you go. So that right there, chat, is the mix
Ooh, that smells delicious.
of venison, salami, and chicken for our chicken paella.
Hey, why don't you eat it?
All right. Next up, nope, not yet, because now I've got to throw in the onions, garlic, and salt. So let's get the onions in there. Let's see. How much salt did Nadia say? Nadia said teaspoon of salt. All right. So let's see. Teaspoon of salt. I'm not seeing any teaspoon measurements here. All right. And that's a tablespoon. Ah, there's the message.
Alexa off.
All right, that's close enough. Flipping off at her, chat. Okay, so this is half a teaspoon, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of these.
I swear our Echo is like in its teenage years. It sometimes doesn't listen to us. God, I just want to eat some of that.
Is that No, that's half a tablespoon. Okay.
Well, that's probably 2. You had to put how many teaspoons?
Supposed to be a teaspoon.
Yeah. Alright.
We have only 1 garlic press, right, hon?
Yes.
All right.
Why? Did you need another one?
Well, I need one right now, but I think
You could also just mash it and smash it and
that's true.
chop it.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, these tomatoes, I should put them in the fridge.
No, I'm going to need.
Oh, you're using them?
tomatoes.
Yes, please do. I got too many tomatoes.
Yes. So here's the thing, chat. When I'm, whenever a recipe says, "Oh, only use," and this is why I love cooking because you have this liberty. When it says, yeah, we need 2 smashed cloves of garlic, I prefer using double that. So I'm putting in 4. I'll tell you right now, vampires do not dig the Morris house.
No, they avoid it.
They avoid it.
It's creepy.
It's creepy paper, Guillermo. By the way, for those fans of What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, don't know if you knew this or not, but the guy who plays Guillermo, the familiar, in What We Do in the Shadows, yeah, he's in a movie right now. He's in a movie called about werewolves. It's called, what was it called? Werewolves Watching? Werewolves... It's basically done by Ubisoft, and it's actually got a tie-in to a video game. But the movie, the Kellys have already seen it, and they loved it. They just thought it was an absolute riot.
It's quite a recent game. I think it's also a like an Oculus game.
Yeah, you said
Werewolves Within.
Werewolves Within. There you go, Werewolves Within.
2016. The game was only 2016. They decided
Oh, wow.
to do it. Yeah. Interesting.
Speaking of movies, everybody, yeah, we over the weekend we actually went back to the movies for the first time in over a year.
Oh,
We went to the movies,
more like
and the funny thing was,
14 months.
yeah,
Maybe?
well, I said, yeah, well over a year, probably almost a year and a half. But the funny thing was, chat, they were not ready. Do you have any Raisinets? No, I'm sorry, we don't have any Raisinets. Do you have any Cookie Bites? No, we don't have any Cookie Bites. Do you have any, I think it was Sour Patches? No, we
Yes.
don't have any of those.
No, they didn't have all the Sour Patch Watermelon.
They had nothing.
We were there to pay for their
Yo, Mod Sherpa, how are you, buddy?
We were there to pay for their overpriced concessions.
And
didn't
they
have
were
any.
having none of it. So I'm like, okay.
I guess you're not making any money off us.
We did manage, well, I will say this, we did manage to get 2 sodas for like almost
$12.
$15.
2 sodas for $12. I swear they've gone up in price.
I think they have, but man, there was nothing.
I mean, they're twice as watered down.
Nothing.
Well,
Nothing. Oh, and just so you know, Chad, after this, after dinner, I'm going to be back on stream, and I'm going to be streaming some Mass Effect tonight. So be ready for that. Anyway, so when it says that when they said they want they want their garlic crushed, yes, you can, if you want, you can use a garlic press, which will basically crush it, or you can just basically just hit the cloves with the flat of the knife, and then just go ahead and start chopping. Works the same way. Exhausted too much overtime. How are you all? We're good. We are doing tonight. Twitch Dad is making paella. The recipe is coming from Nadia Hussein's cookbook, British Cooking Adventure?
We have a couple.
British Food Adventure. Nadia's British Food Adventure. And if you're wondering who's Nadia, you need to go into the Great British Baking Show, or, for those of us overseas, the Great British Bake Off. And you need to watch the season where a lovely young lady in a hijab named Nadia basically charmed the socks off everybody. And also baked her ass off. She was amazing. She was absolutely amazing that season. But here's the thing. If you think Nadia's stuff was great to look at on the Great British Baking Show, her cooking is even better.
She's got a couple of series on Netflix as well.
Yeah, she's got some series on Netflix. And what we're doing, just remember, nobody likes a soggy bottom. No, especially Mary Berry. She does not care for the soggy bottom. There are my alerts. Thank you for that follow. Certainly do appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. You're cooking with Twitch Dad today. We are making now the recipe we're making today is chicken and chorizo paella. Hang on one second, everybody. Just gonna check something here. That was Maxstrat DB. Thank you for that follow. Do appreciate it. Thank you, Maxstrat. So anyway, I'm just gonna say here that the recipe is chicken and chorizo paella. What we're doing right now is we've made the chicken part, but we are swapping out the chicken with venison salami. And trust me,
unexpected venison salami.
The venison salami here is absolutely off the charts. It's great. It's great. And thank you, Quartermain, for that reference to Mary Berry.
People get secondhand meats, but you know.
Well, these are friends that we trusted.
Friends that we trust. Don't just accept secondhand meats from random strangers on, street corners. I would suggest.
All right. So, chat. What we have here is we're softening up the onions. That's what we're doing. We're softening up the onions. You should, when you're doing this, you should be smelling. Not just the garlic, but the onions as well. It should have a very sweet tone to it. If it starts to look a little dry, just go ahead and add just a little bit of oil to it. That'll help everything along. So we're gonna add rice to this. Rest of the oil along with the garlic, onion, and salt. We've already done that. We've got soft onions now. We're gonna add the rice, cook over a high heat for 2 minutes. And here's the thing. We're about to put in this kind of rice. This is arborio rice. Arborio rice. You can go ahead and see the label right there. That's it. Arborio rice, right? Here's where you do have to be exact, because if you put too much rice in it, you won't have enough moisture to go around. So we got to make sure that the moisture is there. All right. And she wants you to put in. How much? I see the chorizo, I see the chicken. Yeah, I know, it's in grams. Oh, 300 grams. 300 grams of. So, arborio rice is paella rice.
It's a short grain rice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get paella rice as well, but.
It's just got to be short grain to be paella rice, to be paella. And if you've never had paella before, well, now you know. It's basically a rice-based dish. And when it gets going, it's got a great scent to it. Come on, there you go. The amount of effort just to open up a bag of rice, sometimes it's like trying to get into Fort Knox. Right, there you go. And we're a family of 3. This with the leftovers can last us a couple of days. I don't know the difference in regards to the rice. Yeah, the rice that you use does matter. Now, when you put dry rice into a skillet, you got to make sure that you're always stirring, because you're basically browning the rice. And if you need to, yes, you can take the heat down.
Well, actually, you want it hot.
Hon, do you want to come over here and cook
Yes,
it?
I will give you my counterpoint to that. Actually, you.
Because you know how I feel about backseat gaming. Backseat cooking is even worse.
Well, you want it on a high heat, and you want to
I
leave.
know you want it on a high heat,
But you don't want to stir it.
But you don't.
You don't want to stir it for like a couple of
What does Nadia
minutes.
say? What does Nadia say?
Because you actually want to brown.
What does Nadia say?
Okay.
What does Nadia say?
Now add the rice and cook over a high heat for just 2 minutes, making sure to scrape the bottom, as all that contains the flavour.
And when you scrape the bottom, what does that mean?
I guess you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I'm doing.
Are you the one cooking? Are you the one
No,
scraping?
but I've cooked this a bunch of
Well, then
times.
why don't you sit your pretty little head down over there and have a bonbon or two while I make the fucking dinner?
Jeez, you're so rude.
Don't take-
Like the alligator.
She's like the alligator.
Alligator Loki.
She's alligator Loki, everybody. Alligator
Don't make
Loki.
me bite your hand off. Well, I totally will. Oh, secondhand venison.
Mm-hmm. Secondhand venison. Nothing else comes quite close. Pip might be taking a paddle to the cook. Yeah, Calpeno. If she harms the cook at this point, she don't get no dinner.
Just take over. I'm sure it'll be delicious.
Are you just sweating with oil, or is there a little sugar added for browning? No. No, there's no sugar added. And by the way, if anybody wants to see again actually I have the, if you look above No Kid Hungry, that's the cover of this cookbook, and there's no sugar in this recipe, except for the stuff that's in the actual.
Flavors of the.
It's all flavors of everything that we're offering here.
Hello, human.
Hello.
Hey there. I have the rice and cook over a high heat.
Screaming.
Alexa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
set a timer for 1 minute.
Mad Mojo, just all right.
1 minute. Starting now.
Yes, I don't think you can.
Okay, so
fail
we
to
have
notice.
4. Yeah, I know. Right?
Usually, we don't cook with cameras.
We
Usually.
do not usually cook with
And
cameras.
music. And a
And
laptop.
music.
on the-
And a laptop.
Yeah, that would be a significant amount.
Mika is a lazy stirrer. That's why they suck at rice. But you see, that's the thing, is that you got to keep the rice moving, because otherwise you start to burn or char. But you can see, even on that camera, you should see some color coming to the rice. When you're done with this process, the rice shouldn't look white. The rice should have a slight tint to it. It's when your rice starts to look brown, or worse, black. That's when you've cooked it just a wee bit too long. All right. So you're cooking with dynamite. Alexa off. All right. So now we're going to be adding to this 4 diced tomatoes, and then we're going to also add. Now, if I want to, like I said, if I want to add in a 5th tomato, or if I want to add in more tomatoes, or if I want to add in red peppers or mushrooms or anything like that, I can do that. But I'm going to actually ask my wife, Pip, would you like roasted red peppers in
Yes.
this? And that was an amazing ventriloquism act you just did there, honey.
I mean, it cannot hurt.
Well then, if you would please get out the roasted red peppers.
But they
I
are
can- They are in there
in the fridge.
in the fridge. Yes.
Lidl has a wonderful. Oh, I like how nice and dark your onions are. I'm just going to say.
Thank you. And you know what, chat? When I say that's what she said, literally, that is what she said.
That's not meant in an inappropriate way.
Nope, not at all.
We are not inappropriate. We are not inappropriate people.
We are not
Yeah.
inappropriate people. We are not an inappropriate family. Mod Sherpa, you be quiet.
Hello, Sebastian.
Did you want me to go on ahead and take that fifth onion or fifth tomato and just put it in there too, or no?
Yeah, throw it all in there.
Throw it all in there.
I've got too many tomatoes. I don't want to waste them.
Fair enough. Then would you mind? Would you mind grabbing a cutting board and off camera cutting 2 of these onions? Or jeez, Jesus, mighty and
What are
Joseph.
those? Tomatoes.
These tomatoes.
Hello? Are you a sweet boy?
Off camera cutting is tight.
Off camera cutting of tomatoes is tight.
I shake my head.
Give me a couple of.
Well, isn't this paella a complicated dish? Actually, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience.
It really just takes a lot of time of sort of stirring.
Yeah.
And
Is that the chicken and venison there?
Yep.
Do you want slices or cubes?
Cubes, please. All right.
These
You wanna watch what Mother's doing? Here, I'll move this bag. You can go on. Or you're gonna sit on the camera equipment.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I choose to do this because I got crappy gushies today. I'm still upset about that.
Still fan out of shape about it.
Poor Bass.
Not happy about it.
So angry.
I'm an angry boy.
Angry.
I am an angry boy.
He's very angry.
Very angry.
Very angry. You are very angry, boy.
Alright.
This is bitter. This is not gushies, cat. You like to sniff it? I don't think you like
I
it.
would like to snip it. Make sure.
Random things you hear in a kitchen, chat. Random things you hear in a kitchen.
Well, this kitchen anyway.
In this kitchen.
I doubt whether you hear it on Gordon Ramsay's.
No.
You probably hear what more Shelby would.
Be a bit more sharp.
Word.
What more Shelby would swear in here.
I would dare say that in his kitchen back in the day, Bourdain was probably known to swear like a sailor or two.
Yeah, they
Granted, he was also high as a kite when he was doing it, so I mean, there was that. Yeah, he was.
I don't think he was.
Excuse me, I thought the requirement was Dad's to make some inappropriate. Hey, look.
Don't.
That's the problem with my jokes. My jokes are in some cases too inappropriate.
Do I put this tomato in there?
Yep. If you would please, I'd appreciate it. And if you would go yes, that way, my darling. Thank you. Thank you, my darling.
Problemo.
I think this is the only red pepper that we need. Correct? Just one good slice of red pepper.
Yeah, that should be enough.
Okay. So really, at this point, even though the recipe that Nadia talks about says just put in just tomatoes, you can really put in whatever you want. You can put in mushrooms. You can put in roasted red peppers. You can put in more onions if you wanted to put in more onions. That's perfectly acceptable.
More tastiness.
And a teaspoon of smoked paprika. All right. There's the teaspoon. So a little teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then we stir it up again.
Stir.
Add all the stock and cook on a high heat with the lid off. Okay.
You got the stuff?
Yeah, I got the stock. Now, I asked my wife this. I said, is there a difference between stock and broth? And I was told the answer was more or less no. Maybe maybe stock is a little thicker. Might have a little more like fat content to it than broth. But really, in the long run, it doesn't matter.
Broth is made from meat and vegetables, but stock is made from bones. So if you make stock, like you might have old chicken bones and you put them all together.
You're telling me this now.
Yeah, I didn't know that myself.
Oh, you just looked it up.
I just looked
But
it
we can
up.
still use broth, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you are right, stock is slightly more viscous.
Viscous. What a great word, chat. The password is viscous.
It's always like moist.
Viscous. Moist and viscous. Mmm. Mmm. And I think I use all of this, don't I? I think I use all of this. Yeah. Yeah. I'm using all of it. All right, there we go, chat. And now, chat, we do another, and here's the other thing. When you pour any liquids like this in, it's always a good idea to take like a flat wooden spatula like the one I'm using here, and just go underneath the rice and just make sure nothing is sticking to your pan. That way you're kicking up anything that happens to be sticking down at the bottom. And then a few more laps in the skillet, and then you're good. So you get all kinds of skillets. That's a deep skillet, right? And that's where you want when you're making a dish like this, you want to have some kind of deep skillet, because that looks very watery right now. Trust me, it's going to boil off. It's going to boil off. Alexa, set a timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, starting now.
And then you're going to want to turn the heat up. So far we've been working on like a medium high to a low heat. Well, not medium high, more like medium high to medium heat. But now we want to bring this to a boil. Not only are we going to boil off some of the broth that you see in there, but the rice itself is going to act as a sponge and it's going to soak it all up. I'm curious, does kitchen setup stay in kitchen and camera and such? The answer is no. In fact, this particular setup that you see here is a setup that I'm going to be using when I go on the 20th to my paranormal investigation with Phil Rossi. So I've got camera A here, I've got my camera B here, I've got an alternative camera here, which is the FaceTime camera, and then I've got my audio coming through Blue. And from what I can tell, chat, the Blue mic is picking me up pretty well, and I don't have to necessarily speak up. So when we're talking very very softly in the hotel room and we're going to be doing our paranormal investigation with Phil Rossi, you should still be able to hear me, especially if I don't have music playing. And that's the thing. I'm not going to have music at all playing during that. I wanted to test out all these different components just to see how they would perform. I've already found out some things about the camera. The camera's a new piece of tech that I'm working with, and I think I'm going to have to make sure that if I don't have both batteries charged, I've got to make sure that I've got that plugged into an external source. Otherwise, that may conk out on me during the night, and I don't want to have that happen. There's a lot happening on this paranormal investigation, and I want to make sure I've got everything covered. If you want to know how the setup is going to go, the setup is going to go like this. I have this camera, the main camera that's currently on the skillet. This camera right here, that one is going to have an IR emitter. Actually, I can show it to you. It's going to have this IR emitter, an infrared emitter, on its top, and with this, it'll illuminate the room in total darkness. So I got that on there. And then I've got this. And this smaller camera, the backup camera, I should say backup camera, the second camera right here, this one that I've got my hand in front of, is going to be pointed to this. And this is my piece of ghost tech that I'm going to be, hey Kat, good to see you. But this is the piece of ghost tech that I'm going to be breaking in more or less the night of the paranormal hunt. It works as a motion sensor. It also works as a response device. And when it's on, it softly glows blue. So that tells me that it's working, right? Tells me that it's working. And in complete darkness, you're just going to see this thing glowing blue. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, that means... Wait, Lando Norris got mugged yesterday? Really? I'll have to look that up. Poor guy. Poor guy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that makes sense. Because if I remember correctly, Lando was at the football game. He was at the football game yesterday. Because he posted. I remember he posted from the football game. I hope he's okay. One of the, it's funny when I was taking martial arts. I remember it. They said very clearly. They said, you know what? If you're ever mugged or if you're ever in a situation like that, don't try to be a hero. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to do anything like that. Now, if they attack you, that's one thing. But if all they want is your wallet, you drop the wallet and you walk away. You walk away. And that's the smart way to do it because it's funny. I look back on when my daughter and I were trying out Krav Maga. And I realize now in retrospect how toxic that particular form of martial arts can be, because they're trying to convince you that if the guy is right up on you, you can quickly disarm that person before they can pull the trigger. And I'm like, I remember when they were teaching us the actual disarming, the disarming technique, and I'm just sitting there going, I'd be dead. I'd be a dead man. There's no possible way. I mean, if I'm taking them by surprise, maybe, but this guy, whoever is mugging me, whoever is doing whatever they're doing, they're hepped up on adrenaline, and they're desperate, and that's just a recipe for disaster. Now, granted, if they're threatening me, if they threaten me or my family, if they threaten my well-being after I've complied, that's a different situation altogether. But yeah, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this is really a recipe for disaster, because everybody thinks they're Steven Seagal. And I should rephrase that. Steven Seagal in his younger days. I will also say this too. Yeah, the amount of testosterone was being flown around in that classroom, not the prettiest thing. It was still an education. I'll give it that much. It was an education. But yeah. I guess that's what life is all about. It's all about experiences. And if some people have a better experience than I was, all my self-defense classes were geared to, GTFO ASAP. Exactly. GTFO ASAP. The buddy of mine who got me into martial arts, he was great. He said in all the times that he was a second-degree black belt, and he actually worked with if I remember correctly, he was either in Olympic trials or he was on the Olympic team at one point. And I remember he got jumped. He got jumped in Baltimore, and what had happened was the guy punched him from behind, and he basically went into he did some type of spin kick, and he disarmed the guy because the guy was sneaking up from behind him. And the other two guys that were with him basically were like, "Yeah, I'm out," and they both sprinted out of there. In a situation like that, yes, that's kind of the way it should go. But what they were telling me to do I keep hearing so much crap about Baltimore. Rarely go into the city. I don't think it's that bad, to be fair. I really don't think it's that bad. I enjoy going into Baltimore. I don't necessarily go into Baltimore. I mean, when I was in my younger days, sure, I went into DC and Baltimore all the time. It was a great place to hang out. It was a great place to dine and all that. It was great. But now I go there during the day, and I usually go in there. I'm going to a museum. I'm rarely in DC at night. I think the last time I was in DC at night, I was attending a speaker series at the Spy Museum. So it's been a while. It's been a while. But as you can see, that just in the time that we've been chatting, already a lot of the broth has already bubbled off, and you see that the rice is starting to swell up. This is exactly what we want. This is exactly the look we're going for. Then when we add in this, it's just a matter of simmering. And when you simmer, that's when you start getting all the flavors and you start getting the flavors not just of the meats, but you get that into the rice as well, and that's the whole game changer. Inner Harbor isn't the city. The cops patrol that heavily because of exactly. Yeah, there are two Baltimores. There's the Inner Harbor Baltimore, and then there's Baltimore proper near like the Seltzer Tower and things like that. So yeah, there are literally two different Baltimores. I'd be the first one to tell you that, and you know that too, being the guy in that area. So chat, thank you all very much. We're still going. We're almost there. But I wanted to go on ahead and quickly give a shout out to No Kid Hungry. They are the charity stream that I am. They're the charity that I'm currently hosting. I'm Suburbia. Don't qualify. So, me too. I am. When I tell people that I live in the DC area, I tell people, yeah, I live in the DC area, and that's what you hear a lot. Oh, I live in the DC metro area. I live in the DC. Whenever you hear somebody say the DC metro area, they're about half an hour to an hour outside of DC proper. I have friends that live in the DC area, but I myself do not live in that area. No. I am very much rooted in suburbia. So there you go. Anyway, so I'm going to start preparing the last few bits for this recipe. But yes, chat, this month and all through the month of July, I'm doing Summer Shenanigans, where I am raising money for NoKidHungry.org. And NoKidHungry.org is an organization to make sure that kids who are reliant on school meals for their next meal get fed even when school is out of session. And while they have been working like champs during the whole COVID-19 pandemic and during the shutdowns and all that, they have also been working double time this summer, because now that they're back, they're planning for the next school year, but summer and Christmas are their two toughest times of the year, and so they're trying to make things ready for the school year, but they still have kids that are reliant on them. Alexa, off. They still have kids reliant on those meal programs, and so Alexa, off. And so they work really hard, not only to feed kids, but to also provide educational programs during the summer months. It's a great organization, No Kid Hungry, and I feel very fortunate to be working with them. Cheers, everybody, and cheers to No Kid Hungry. Remember, for every $1 that you donate to No Kid Hungry, that takes care of 10 meals. We're sitting right now at 1580, I believe, 1580, and if not 1580, 1560, I know. And we're going to be raising money later tonight with Mass Effect Monday. But I wanted to make sure I did a cooking stream for these guys. And here we are. Okay, so now we're going to add chicken and the chicken and venison salami to this dish. Oh yes, oh yes. And here we go. And then you put this on a low heat. And as you can see, you can see how much the rice has really soaked up this chicken broth. We're gonna add in, incorporate the chicken and the venison. So just to reiterate, this recipe normally calls for chorizo. And what we did was we got from our friends Nick, Stacia, and Brandon Kelly, we got some venison salami. So we went on ahead and said, let's try this dish, which we've had often, but let's try it instead of with chicken chorizo. Let's try it with chicken and venison salami. And this is the end result. And that's the trick about this particular recipe from Nadia's British Food Adventure. Yes. There we go. The thing you want to know, the thing to know about this particular recipe is that if you want to swap out any of the meats, it's best to look at the meat that you're swapping it out with and go, okay, which one is more appropriate? For example, let's say you want to do a red meat version of this. Well, then don't put in the chicken. Put in steak and chorizo, or put in you could put in ground beef and chorizo if you wanted to do something like that. If you wanted to swap out the chorizo part, then yeah, come up with a different sauce. Come up with a sweet sausage, or come up with an even spicier sausage if you wanted to go even spicier. And that was what we did. We left the chicken in there, but because venison salami is a spiced version of bologna, we already had the spice in the venison, so we said, well, let's just swap out the chorizo with the venison, because Nick had said that the venison did have a very peppery kind of punch to it. So that's what we did here. And I'm sorry. We should be cooking this on 10 minutes. Yeah, on a low heat. 10 minutes on a low heat. So Alexa, set a timer for 8 minutes, because we've been talking for about 2.
8 minutes, starting now.
But the paella part is the actual rice itself, and this is very indicative of, this is a dish that originates from Spain. You also see it a lot in Mexico, but you see that in a lot of this in the Spanish and Spanish, Mexican, Latino dishes. You see a lot of rice, and this is a very specific kind of rice. This is arborio rice, and it's the perfect kind of rice for this sort of thing. Noob, good to see you in chat, Noob. Very nice to see you. Now, one last thing we need to do while I'm prepping the plates. And there really isn't anything that you would want to add to this unless you like would you want to top it with cheese? Probably not. There's no reason to top it with cheese, not at all. I just eat out. Look, Noob, after some of the stuff you deal with, I know that probably cooking is the last thing you even want to think about. For me, this is a great way to decompress. This is I don't want to say cathartic, but I just enjoy the process. I do. I just enjoy the process a lot. And like I said, this particular recipe, you can find this in Nadia's cookbook. It's available on Amazon. So feel free to look it up and order it yourself. But the nice thing about cooking is that you can really take a dish and make it your own. It doesn't necessarily have to be by the book. You can go in ahead and say, you know what, I want to make this, but I want to make this with venison instead of chorizo. I want to add more garlic, or I don't want to have any garlic if I'm, and really it comes back to what you like. It's baking is the exact science. Baking is the one where you've got to make sure everything is I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and you're making sure that you're not using too much of one thing or too little of something else. Otherwise, the whole thing is off. So let's see. I'm trying to remember where everything goes. There we go. These are the last touch. Now, the recipe calls for some fresh parsley and lemon. And then what you do is you take the wedges of lemon and you squeeze them around. And that's really up to you how much lemon you want to squeeze. My family, for whatever reason, we're less about lemons and we're more into limes. So we usually top off ours with lime, and we prefer it that way. We dig the limes. There's your, okay, well, that works for you, noob. That works for you. And then afterwards, you eat out. No problem. So let me just see here. I'm eating a tease. Which camera is showing some odd? Which one is it? The one on the skillet or is it the one on the plates? I'm just curious which one. Once again, even though the recipe does not call for it, I go on ahead and I stir just to make sure nothing is sticking on the bottom. Let's see. And chat, just a reminder, tonight I will be back for more streaming. I will be back at 7 o'clock for Mass Effect Monday. And and instead of hearing about this incredible dish that we had with the venison salami and the chicken paella, you're actually seeing me make it. So now you know how the sausage is made. So now I'm just going to go on ahead and cut a couple of lime wedges here. Chad, I hope you all had a good day. Mine was not bad. Actually, I had to sit down with the boss. Today about it was the evaluation, the 1 month evaluation. Apparently, everybody's happy with me, so can't complain there. What's the difference between artifacting and pixelation? I think artifacting has to do with the actual health of the stream and how good the internet signal is here. If it's pixelation, that means one of these cameras is not performing up to snuff. That's a problem. Pixelation usually happens with the camera. That's my interpretation of it. Semantics? Could be that too. It's a bit like when people start talking about what's the difference between ambient noise and there was something else they called it. There are some people that when you're trying to turn down, when you're trying to raise the noise floor to to 0. And I know that sounds counterproductive, but yes, when you're trying to achieve a noise floor of 0, you're trying to you're not trying to eliminate ambient noise, even though I've heard other people talk about ambient noise, and I've seen podcasters debate that back and forth. It's crazy. Night Sky, thank you. It is a fantastic recipe from this cookbook right here. This is Nadia's British Food Adventure. Yes, this is the same Nadia from the Great British Baking Show, and this is her cookbook, which does have some desserts in it, but it's also got she now has some cooking shows on Netflix, and her cooking shows on Netflix are absolutely fantastic. So there's nothing I can do on my end. Well, again, Fox, that's what I'm testing. This is a multi-purpose stream. The layout that I'm trying with the equipment that I'm working on, this is all based on my internet. It's based on the equipment that I'm using, and it's based on Alexa off, and it's also based on the fact that it's like afternoon, early evening, and as far as I know, at least from what I'm seeing on Streamlabs, everything is moving fine. I'm getting decent ratings on my stream, so everything on my end seems to be okay. It might be on your end, and we say it's just that camera. So which camera is it? Is it this camera? Is it the camera that's on me, or is it the camera that's on the food? Which one? These are the important questions. Oh, it's on the pan. Ooh, the camera that's on the pan. Ooh, that is good to know, because I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, because that's our main camera. That's gonna be our main camera for the night. All right. Sorry, when I said camera on the food, I meant the one that I'm currently scooping paella out of. I should call it the paella cam. All right. See, it's funny, because the camera that I'm using, the camera that I'm currently that I'm using here, is actually an older camera. This camera is supposed to be, it's supposed to be capable of many amazing things. So I may have to check its settings just to make sure that it's okay. And if it's just this camera, I have to keep an eye on that. Oh, nice. Night Sky, welcome to my stream. You're cooking with Twitch Dad right now, and we're getting ready to wrap up, because at the top of the hour, I'm going to be out of the kitchen, I'm going to be downstairs in my office, and I'm going to be streaming Mass Effect. So this is my segue into it. I'm raising money for NoKidHungry.org and showing off this recipe. The actual recipe is chicken and chorizo paella, but I have substituted the chorizo with a venison salami. And yes, it is. I'm hoping it's as good as it was the first time I made it. Now, granted, the first time I made it, I was not streaming, so it'll be interesting to see if I pull it off the second time. So right now, chat, all I do is serve it up like this with something to drink. And, oh, I almost forgot. So chat, the recipe also calls for The recipe calls for fresh parsley to be used as a garnish, as a topping. I'm going to use fresh basil instead. And if you want a neat gizmo for your kitchen, take a look at these. Actually, I could probably do this. Since we're now switching over here. There we go. So this little contraption here, these are scissors designed specifically for trimming, and then not only trimming but also trimming and chopping up fresh herbs. And they're basically scissors, but they are scissors with 5 blades. And Pip found these on Amazon, and they've been absolutely fantastic. But if you want to see what they do, this is what they do. Thank you. So for anybody new to chat, if you want to catch me tonight and see if I game as well as I cook, I'm the first one to tell you, honestly, I think I cook better than I game. Jazzy, for that host, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jazzy. So as I was saying earlier, chat, over the weekend, my family went out to the movies, and we saw Black Widow. And I can tell you right now, chat, worth it. That was a movie I said I wanted to. If I'm gonna go out to the movies, I'm gonna go out to see Black Widow, and I'm glad I did. I'll have to go be having my instant mashed potatoes. Hey, you start. Everybody starts somewhere. That's the way you got to look at it. Everybody starts somewhere. I'm waiting for Smello Twitch. Yeah, aren't we all? So let me see. So I'm going to go with, yeah. So there you are, chat. That is chicken and venison paella. And if anybody's got any questions for me, now would be a good time to ask, because I won't be back until after dinner. But I hope this was a good stream for everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the content, and heck, even learned something while you were here. Oh no, Fox, no spoilers at all. I'm not that anyone dropping spoilers from Black Widow, insta-ban. That's the way I roll. But yes, this is a chicken chorizo paella recipe from Nadia's British Food Adventure, and you can find the British Food Adventure actually on Netflix as well. And she's got this recipe along with others. This is a chicken chorizo paella, but we made it with venison salami, and instead of the garnish of parsley, we put on some fresh basil. And then instead of lemon, we did some lime wedges. And basically, what you do with lime wedges, you do this. And it's up to you how much lime you use. And I tend to keep the second wedge on standby in case I want to get a second helping. See you soon, my friend. Maybe we can cook along one day. I'm a professional foodie. See you soon. Oh, hey, Night Sky. Thank you very much. Feel free to follow, and thank you so much for coming into my cooking stream. This is something I try to do. I try to make sure that I get in a Twitch Dad stream, especially when I'm streaming for No Kid Hungry. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. And chat, the other thing to know about one last tip for being in the kitchen: when you throw lemon wedges into your garbage disposal in the kitchen, here's something to know. Lemon wedges, they go like that, and they freshen up your garbage disposal in case it starts to smell funky. When you put in lime wedges, when you put in the lime rinds, they're going to take a little longer to grind up. They are tough as nails, so be ready for that if you decide to do that. Well, that's it. We're now going to chow down, and then I'm going to see you all at 7 o'clock. So thanks, everybody, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Again, thank you all for your time and attention, for the tips, bids, subs, hosts, and auto hosts. And I will see you at 7 o'clock for Mass Effect Monday. Bon appetit, and I'll talk to you later.